All right, so we were not gone very long, just like we promised. We weren't gone very long. So Robert, let's continue on. Let's have you continue on. You know, your advancement really is about it's so perfect because it just you're talking to the everyday experiences of everyday people. It is everyday people. We're all everyday people. We really are. We're all running around here on this planet. We're all everyday people. We have lives, and what you explain is the way that you're presenting it is people can relate to it because that's the experience that they're having. Love it. Go forward.
That's great. One of the things I usually talk about is how simple it is. The greatest thing that ever happened in your life came out of nowhere. Just popped in and changed all sorts of things. So if we can harness that, we've got a great life. And the way you harness it is to allow the energies around your body to be totally flexible. And in that personal supercomputer, I give a little list of things that you can do to loosen up that energy field. To start with, everybody knows that if you lose a limb, you still feel that limb because you have an energy field around your body, which they call, I don't know, an energy body. But in fact, it's more than that. And if you can slightly dislodge it from its original position, you have an enormous field to play with. But what you do is, imagine it's a cape hanging around your neck and you just stand and swing it around and let it go loose. Then you start to flick it off into the trees and bring it back, and off into the universe and bring it back, and all this, you know, doesn't take 5 minutes. You just slowly do it as you think of it until it becomes much more loosely connected, and you'll find it's a bigger world than the world we're in. Because that energy field contains everything to interact with everybody else and to interact with the universe, you can then realize that there are active energies within that you can put to work. And I make people laugh a bit when I say, you know, I never used to have to clean the house or clean the windows because I used to just assign it and it would get done. And you can't see it happening. It's just always there. And people come and comment and say, wow, who do you get to clean your house? And I'd say, nobody. And if the window's got a little bit dirty, I just go out and wet my finger and make it look terrible. And then just say to them, look at that, and walk away. And sure enough, in a week's time, it's all clean. So there are so many things that we can play with. And you hear stories.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Really? Are you serious? You did that? You do that?
Totally, yeah. And Barbara came to Australia and she said, how do you do that? So I showed her. It doesn't work a lot of times when a lot of people around that don't believe it because it pushes all the energies away. But besides that, how many times have you spoken nicely to your car when it didn't go and it suddenly goes?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's those active energies that can come in and make a difference. So that's only little bits of what I know is available. So I like to take people to where that platform of living takes you so far that you're in amongst all the active energies of the universe, to the point where you don't even bother looking back. And then you start to do what you want, to present yourself in the physical world. Instead of being in the physical world with a coat on that says, I'm Rebecca, you are sitting outside and you're projecting into the physical world the picture that you want. And that's the same place you described where you were looking back. And everyone can go there in an instant. It's only because that fictitious field that we've built socially says you can't, we take notice of. So as we talk amongst one another, we find that we can just jump out into anywhere. We can go to the beach, we can go swing on a swing, we can float in midair, we can feel ourselves step off a building and not fall down. And while we play with all that, the reality starts to appear. Because in the world of the unknown, there is probably 500 trillion times more than in the world that you know of, that you live in. And in the world you live in, you think you know all about it. But I just say to people, so what's in the shed next door? You don't even know that far away. You only know the picture that comes to you because of your life. So why not attract the picture of the future? Because as you attract the picture of the future, you move forward into the future. And it only takes the tiniest little fraction of a second, and all of a sudden, the world changes to suit the future. So it's not the way everybody's been taught. You don't work on something now and it happens in the future. You walk towards the future and the world comes into play and the universe fills the gap so that the future actually appears. And the future is not determined through your head. It's something we know. It's a definite feeling of brilliance that comes when you just lift yourself further and further and further until you can say, now I'm ready to turn around and come back into the physical world with all my gifts. I've got a treasure chest that I hid in the unknown. And I open that treasure chest and it's all new and nobody knows one thing about any of it. So everything you bring into the world is new, never been seen before, never been felt before, and therefore it can't have any rules. So as you live your life and keep elevating, all these so-called funny things keep appearing in your life. And even science is finding that, you know, all the science that they know about is really out the door now, because they've introduced not just a theory, but the practice of using plasma, and you can do it from your home. You can actually build free power in your kitchen, and it's on YouTube. Everything is just coming to the point of magic and miracles, to where the source of who we are is actually speaking to us. But it's not telling us what to do, it's speaking to us and respecting who we are. As universal beings, we're able to go out past the universe and look back and be everywhere at the one time. And so it won't be long before we're all just changing our focus and appearing through, you know, in front of whoever we want.
Well, that's you've said an awful lot. I will tell you, is Robert, is that I feel a little remiss here. Is that I haven't been living in a total evolutionary state of mind, so to speak, and when I listen to you, it always brings me back to the tools are there. I just need to open the treasure box, as you called it, the treasure chest. So I thank you for the information. And there's people out there that are listening and will be listening that will get what you're saying really succinctly. They will get what you're saying. And that's how we change the course of the reality. That's how the future catches us in a very positive way. And I like that. I really like that. And just the whole idea behind miracles, and I talk about it. And I think that was what drew me to you to begin with, was the idea that you talked about magic and miracles, and I was like, it's not what people think it is. It's not sleight of hand. And it's beyond an energy, but it is an energy. It's intelligence. It's you can't really define it specifically. It's all things, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Well, thank you for all of that. Sincerely, that was just totally cool. You got anything else that you want to add to that? I mean, my goodness, that was just awesome.
Well, there's a lot in the fact that we can set ourselves on a path, but the best path is the one where you actually follow what children do, and you watch them. They run around and they're chasing their own spirit. And if you happen to get in the road, they stop and they look like they've done something wrong. They look at you, and then they get approval again, off they go, and they're chasing their spirit again. And they're totally entertained. There's nothing wrong. Everything's beautiful. All we have to do every day is chase our own spirit. It doesn't head in one direction. It's totally non-linear, and you have to agree to disturb every moment. And if you're willing to disturb every moment, you get new all the time. And that's why I talk about the things that are coming rather than the things that have been. So I don't like talking too much about history, because history is just a story. It's never the same for any person, and the history we read is just somebody's story of what happened. It's really not what happened, because
so true.
So, you know, why live your life on somebody else's story? So as you chase your spirit, it'll lead you through the day and the night, to the most unusual places, the greatest people, and you'll be totally occupied, even in the worst of situations. And as a result, your body and everything in it will be totally comfortable. Because as you chase your spirit, your engine turns on. That source that you have to produce everything for everybody else. You can light up 20 power stations easily, and I can demonstrate that. Each one of us, as soon as we have following our spirit and disturbing every moment, has a force field that just elevates everyone, and that's the light that starts to shine from your eyes. That's why when you look at really bright people in business or anywhere, they excel in everything because it's so simple. Because the language of spirit is simplicity. And spirit does not care about brick walls, about ideas, about programs. Nothing's planned, everything's achieved. And it's always been that way, and it always will be. Because we can even demonstrate to ourselves. You look at a TV show where somebody gets up and sings and you didn't expect anything like it. The whole world stands up and says, wow, because it recognized the brilliance of the being behind that person. So we recognize the brilliance of the being behind us. Our engine turns on. We have all the energy for everybody. And that's why we can say, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's why we can say to everyone, I offer you perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. And that's what we present to everyone. That's why we're here.
So let's talk about the spirit of the child. the child chasing in spirit.
Yep.
And I think if people would just take a moment here, Robert, and try to remember their own childhood. I remember watching my children, and they played very well by themselves. You know, they'd just be off doing whatever. And I remember as a child spending more time with myself than I did with others. You know, physical, family or friends or what have you. Of course, I did have people that I was talking to as well that nobody else could see. You know, I mean, they were always there. But I did spend a lot of time, and I think about the way that you're wording that makes me think, you know, it's like to reevaluate, you know, how I view what it is that I, you know, experienced in that time. And I can appreciate the idea of the child chasing the spirit around, you know, because there was a lot there that was going on. And there's a lot going on with children. And I remember as a young mother watching my own children. They were an enigma to me. Raising children was an enigma. It was like this total fascinating world for me to watch them at play, watch them interact, watch them do things. It was astoundingly fabulous, right? It was like, wow, how did they get there? You know, because as I was growing up, people didn't understand that I could see things and hear things that nobody else could at that point, right? And so I was watching my own children to see if they were exhibiting, you know, any of those, so that I could lend them support. You know, let them know that it's okay if they have a quote-unquote imaginary friend or whatever, you know, people want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And but it was always astoundingly beautiful to me, as just to watch children as they're playing, especially when they're playing with, you know, by themselves. So my question to you is this: have you ever thought about maybe having something back specifically for young parents or for children, you know, to you speaking to children? So we lose that once we get into, a lot of people lose that once they get into the school systems. You know, the daydreaming thing, quit doing that, you know. They're labeled as ADD and AHD, and, you know, there's all these negative connotations put on the kids anymore, and school is certainly not a place where it really necessitates, you know, the magic and miracles that are life. It's a very regimented, structured construct built, you know, for ease of whatever they're doing. Supposedly teaching our children. I don't know what they're teaching them anymore, but you understand. Anyway, so my question to you is: have you thought about doing that? Have you thought about just having you know, a conversation where young parents they can bring their children and you speak to them on these things?
I have actually, but there's something to consider here.
Okay.
In this world, we have so many beautiful beings with such gifts to give the world. I feel it's better for me to encourage all of them to come forward than it is to take on a specific task.
I see.
Because if I can just get one or two of those magnificent examples to go and step in front of the children, I've done a bigger job than if I do it myself. I can actually stand with children and talk to them without opening my mouth, and they love it. And this is the thing that many, many beings are here to do that. So hidden behind a smile and an inflection, you can change their lives without teaching them anything. Just feel what comes from them. When they're happy and they turn and they look at you and they snapshot you with their eyes, it almost blows you away. And you know that something special happened, but there were no words. This is their world, and this is the conversation level that I want to take everyone to, where you can understand that you are talking to one another, and you do know what each one thinks, and you do actually, with a slight inflection, a smile, a movement, you actually transmit everything. And you can change the future with the movement of one hand. The children do that already. All we need is those that came here to smooth out the interface. And when they smooth out that interface, they've also got to be able to hold the handrails so that kids can't fall off the edge. Because kids aren't, they're unlimited, and you don't trap them anywhere. You just hold the handrail and move it a little bit so that they gradually come back into the line, not in the line that what you have determined, but in a line that you know suits them exactly. The uninfluenced, unlimited being doesn't have any problems, and they don't get offline. It's only when there's a limitation put in in a wrong direction. That's the handrails I'm talking about.
Right.
We can actually hold the energies and hold the field that makes it perfect for them to be here. And I keep telling the story about, if you've got half a dozen goldfish in a bowl, and they start to look like they're not real healthy, all you do is change the water. You don't give them any medicine. You just change the water, and within a day, they're happy and they're swimming around again. All we have to do is change the electromagnetic field people are in. And each one of us transmits that with that gift of perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. But we can't do it unless our engine's running. And our engine runs by disturbing every minute and staying alive. And celebrate as much as you can so that it's permanently part of your being. That's the story of the whole thing.
Beautifully said. I love that. And I hope that people really take that to heart, because it is that simple. It's beautifully simple and complex all at the same time. Very beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we've only got about 7-8 minutes. Where does the time go? Just boom, it's gone.
Yes.
You have a couple of websites, and you have on those websites, it's Robert Talks and then also Simeon Presents. Maybe just speak for a moment. What's the difference between Robert Talking and Simeon Presents, so people can understand what it is that may be new to your work? And then, of course, I really would love for you to share some dates and times and things like that of some of the events that you have upcoming and things of that sort. And, of course, anything else that you'd like to share with us today before we disconnect from this venue.
So one of the things that I've always relied on is my connection to other worlds, and you all know that you've got personal friends, and we talked about childhood friends. Well, Simeon is actually like my twin. I can start the conversation and he can finish, and vice versa. And so we don't have a connection problem. We don't have the same sort of thing as if you were dragging something in from another place. So even though the words we call the process is channeling, it's actually not like that for me. I just sit just like a twin would, and we just start to talk. And quite often, he'll pull me back, or vice versa. So it's like two people having two different positions in the universe, but having a permanent connection between one another. So Simeon can look, and he starts always by saying, "This is Simeon coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support your day, and to take you further into the world of your Creator. And as he says that, it sets up a two-way communication, not just between him and I, but between him and whoever's listening. And what he's always done is used my influence on earth to tell him what is needed for people, just as we use his influence to tell us what we need to enhance our lives. So in that two-way communication, he developed this arrangement where every person is connected to him separately. So each person gets the message they need. And it sounds like the same set of words, but you talk to people afterwards and it's entirely different. And we get emails from people saying, wow, Simeon answered my question. And you read the question, it's got nothing to do with what you thought he was saying.
Yeah.
And each Wednesday night, I sit for half an hour, and I just let him speak. And the whole process is just an elevating feeling. You can concentrate on the data if you want, but he often says, I just use the words to hold your attention and to make the two-way communication work. But the biggest thing is that he brings you energies to support your day and to take you further into the world of your Creator. So I've been doing that for, I don't know, almost probably 25 years now, maybe longer. And in the initial stages, I didn't tell anybody. But in the book I wrote, which I channeled most of it, the first one, called The Magic of Life, Simeon's a character in it. And it tells you how he interacts with people and how people don't even know it's the same person. And eventually they come together and go, that's the same person, that's the same feeling, and all of a sudden their lives change. So each Wednesday at 6:15, an unusual time, Pacific Daylight Time, we just gather in the lounge room, and I sit and they film and send it out on the same system that you're using. And then we follow up with the YouTube and a high definition movie later. And we charge $10 for that so that we can provide for the people that are doing all the work. On Sundays, I just sit for an hour and do what I'm doing now, but I push the advancement to its limits every week. And what that means, I don't know even until I sit there and do it.
Understood. I understand.
That we charge $55 for the live bit, because we've got to pay a lot of people. But we then sell the video for $22. Recording. And that's basically our income level at the moment. Everything I write throughout the week, sometimes I write every day, sometimes twice a week, ends up on our website called Youngsight, youngsight.com. And you can discover writings on any subject you like. And it's best if you just do a random search. We've got a button for that called Shuffle. And read whatever you like every day. On there also we've got lots of YouTubes and other videos that are free, of course. We have the YouTube channel. It's got, I don't know, about 50 presentations that we've done in the past. That are excellent for bringing people from the world that they're used to now into the possibility world, and giving them the chance to actually live a different life. We actually have people from, I don't know, about 10 or so or more countries that watch that. We've also got a website. Barbara's got one called barbaraworks.com, and I've got one called robertworks.com. And we've got one for the company. The company is Robert A. Young and Associates. And it's based on our original engineering background, but as consultants, and the whole new purpose of it is to introduce the industry of magic and miracles in physical form. And so it's pushing ahead. We've got, I don't know, about 10 DBAs that people run under our umbrella. DBA is a doing business as. And what we do is try to support the growth of people with us taking the responsibility and giving them the structure and them just starting from nowhere. And that's been going on for 5 years now, a bit longer, and it's progressing at a very nice rate. Apart from that, we just enjoy a beautiful life, Barbara and I here at Santa Barbara, and celebrate as much as we can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I have to say, Robert, this has been beyond a joy to have you here with us today. And for all of you that are listening, if you didn't have a pencil and paper or whatever, or if you don't want to go back and replay it, that you can go to youngsight.com. You can also get all of his information on his websites from my website, that's journeyswithrebecca.com. And as just an added pieces of information is tomorrow night I have a gentleman on, Dr. James Honeycutt, that is going to be presenting new Tesla technology and some new ideas on medical applications of it. Really, really positive, powerful man, very spiritual in himself, and will be presenting that. I also want to let you know as to look at the classes and events page on my website. I have a session that I will be doing on Sunday. It's a pretty rare time that I actually open up to the public and allow them to come in and ask questions of the whole thing, and it's very inexpensive. So if you want to sign up, please do so, because it's a very limited space. Everything that I do is always in a very small quantity. So please do check it out. Check out Robert's website, his books. His website will keep you there for days, if not weeks. So you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. But don't forget to tune in every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time, and also Wednesday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time for more of Journeys with Rebecca. And that being said, Robert, I thank you again for your time, your energy, and your presence, and everything that you have brought here today. This has just been a joy and a pleasure. And for the rest of you, wherever you are, many blessings and good night.
Good night. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.